I want to start with soccer.
Let's do it.
Because I'm confused.
The U.S. men's national team in Copa America played Uruguay last night. And it was all dependent upon what Panama was doing in the other game also. That was another interesting aspect of it all. But realistically, if the U.S. could find a way to beat Uruguay, I think they're in, right, guys?
They needed to win, and I think...
Yeah, they had to win.
And Uruguay was already through atop the table in the group stage.
Right.
They had already won it. Its first two games.
Their game against Panama that they lost 2-1 was just...
That was a brutal one for the
That was
US.
a brutal loss. That was monumental.
Nobody is going to argue or debate that soccer in this country is in a much healthier place than it's ever been. Right?
Sure.
Fan interest is very, very high.
Yes, it is.
We talk about it quite frequently on this show because 3/4 of us are pretty big soccer fans. They don't watch MLS soccer, but Jurko, Black, Abdallah are huge fans of international soccer and the stuff that happens in Europe and the big competitions. And Meller's a huge soccer fan, and others at the station. It gets discussed a lot. Young kids are more into soccer than they've ever been. Nobody would argue that soccer's not, from a fan standpoint, in a better place than it has ever been at any time in this country.
Hey, listen, your dilemma is you're going up against Uruguay. It's a good team.
Well, I get that.
Good,
I understand
players.
that.
I mean, they are a good team. So you're up against it anyway. And anytime you play a South American team with a South American official, for one reason or another, the Americans are never going to be on the right side of a lot of calls.
Boy, that
if
would
it's a
seem
50-50 battle, if it's a 50-50 battle,
to be objective.
the call will always go to the other team.
Is that right?
This guy pulled a yellow card yesterday, right? It's going to be against an American player because it should have been. He blew the play dead, pulled out a yellow card, and then played the advantage.
He had a
Like
change
they
of heart.
spotted the ball. Or you can't have a change of heart. There's no change of heart. You blew the whistle. The guy set the ball on the ground and played the kick. You know, the ball was stopped, and he played it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, yellow goes back into the pocket, and he starts running. And so he played the advantage, which was brutal. Fortunately, the U.S. gets in the way. Tim Ream kicks the ball out. But there was a play where the U.S. player got fouled, and they gave a yellow card to the U.S. player, and he's clearly the one that gets fouled.
So the problem for soccer, I guess, and look, soccer doesn't have too much of a problem in this country, maybe, because the fan interest is very high, and it is very good, and I understand that. For those of us that want to see the U.S. men's national team be a little bit more competitive, we're still waiting. And I'll admit, I'm very much out on the periphery. Some fans are going to be much more into it. Diehard fans are they're out there. They exist. Obviously, they're listening. It's not for everybody. But they're much more invested. They're much more knowledgeable about what's happening within the U.S. men's national soccer program. As a casual observer that would like to cheer for USL, I mean, I cheer for them. I'd like to see them do better. Right. It was supposed to be entering, we talk in soccer, it's always about, like, what do you guys call it? What do you call it? The golden age? What do you call it? What do you guys call it?
Golden era.
The golden generation.
Golden generation.
Spain had a golden generation. Belgium's is sort of an embarrassment because they never accomplished anything. But, like, I hear that term tossed around, like, oh, it's supposed to be the golden generation.
Right.
Golden generation, they can't get out of group play in Copa America. 2 World Cups ago, they didn't qualify for the World Cup. Qualifying out of CONCACAF and qualifying out of Europe are two very different things.
Two different monsters.
I'm waiting for, like, this great golden era. I'm waiting for Pulisic to be this ultimate player that is going to be better than anything that America has ever produced. When's it going to happen, guys?
Well, he is.
He is?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the best player we've ever had.
He is.
Yes.
All right, that's good to know. Period. All right, good. So
the team itself, though, I think the best thing that I've heard about the team, Alexi Lawless after the game said that this group is absolutely talented. They're all playing in Europe. They're all playing in top levels of European soccer. They just haven't won. They haven't won anything. So we've made progress as far as individuals go, but as a team, they have accomplished absolutely nothing in this golden age of soccer.
I didn't get to see any of the game yesterday. I saw some of the post-game stuff. Alexi Lawless seemed very hot. Clint Dempsey was almost rendered speechless. He seemed so downtrodden and disgusted. And I know you guys, I remember months ago when someone named Jurgen Klopp announced he was walking away from whichever program he manages.
Liverpool.
I remember you guys talking about it. You're like, that's the guy to go get. And then I heard the panel on Fox talking about it last night, that if American soccer wants to do what Chris is hinting at, yeah, we have talent, but we haven't achieved. We haven't accomplished. maybe it is a coaching problem, that the answer lies in one of two gentlemen, and that is Jurgen Klopp, or again, just a name I've heard you guys mention. I couldn't tell you much about him. Pep Guardiola. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah, they're two of the best.
Is that realistic?
I
Or is
think
that-
they would scoff at the idea of coaching the American team.
Would they really? They would? Like Jurgen Klopp wouldn't be up for the challenge?
I don't think
it's not
so.
the challenge. They know they're up against it.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why did Jurgen Klinsmann try it?
Oh, because the German lived here. He was living in Los Angeles at the time.
Was he
So-
not as well regarded as those other managers anyway?
Not as manager.
No,
Jurgen
yeah,
Klinsmann as a player.
As a player,
great
he
player.
was. As a manager, he didn't achieve what the
okay.
others
All
did.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a manager, he didn't have the chops. He hasn't done what these two guys have
Okay,
done
so that never
by
really
any
worked.
stretch. Yeah, but either way, Jurgen Klopp would be the guy.
Would he be?
Yeah.
Could they try?
Sure, you can. You
I
can
mean,
try.
sure, you could
Yeah.
try. I
You have
don't.
to pay him a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Here, the other egregious thing that happened last night, the goal that Uruguay scored came
Now
from
talk about this.
an offside situation.
And I said to the guys in the meeting, and we don't like to, when we start getting heated in the meeting, I'm always like, that's it, save it. Stop talking, save it for the air. Because I said, well, what do you mean offside? I said, there's VAR, I thought. And Chris started to explain. I said, stop, save it for the air.
All right.
I want to hear this.
Let me describe
How do they
the play.
screw up
Let
VAR?
me describe the play. The play is a free kick, and it was from about, I'd say, 35 meters out.
Can
so
you
they're
give
going
us yards, meters? Who knows how many 35 meters?
35 yards, say then. Whatever makes you
they're different.
comfortable. Yeah, by 105 inches. I get it. I understand. But either way, so the ball comes in.
Okay.
Right? Headed onto the goal. When the ball is headed now, all players need to be onside. If you're offside, you can't play the ball then into the goal if the goalie saves it. The goalie saved it, went back and carried him to a player from Uruguay. Uruguay and put it in the net.
And he was clearly ahead of the play, like
He
you
was
said.
offsides at the moment of the header. There's no gray area about it. They went to check it on VAR or whatever North American version of VAR there is for this Copa America. Your eyes, your eyes don't deceive you.
No.
He's offside.
Yes.
This referee goes over, looks at it, comes back and calls it a goal. It was
I said-
astounding. Astounding that he can call it a goal.
Well, should there be more outrage about this? I mean, like, and Chris was trying to explain that
Tell him
there's
about the
something.
system.
The system is different than the one they're using. in
Yeah,
Europe.
I mean, if you follow soccer, you're used to these European stadiums that are built for soccer, and the VAR system overseas is implemented in all of those stadiums the same way. They're playing these Copa America matches in football, NFL football stadiums, which they essentially have a makeshift VAR system set up, so you don't have exact lines cutting through. And they were talking about it on the broadcast in the second half. They kept going back to the pictures that the officials were showing to the stadium and to the broadcast partners. Here's the VAR line. And I think it was Stu Holden kept pointing out, yeah, that's what they're claiming is the line, but it's not a straight line from the camera. So the officials can tell you this is what we think it is, but it's not exact. Like you're not watching a game between Chelsea and Manchester City where you're getting exact VAR lines.
seems
drawn.
crazy to me. But like with the, and I guess,
But I mean,
Chris's
it
point,
goes
it's
back to
the
they're
stadiums
playing
are different.
They're
Yeah.
playing in NFL stadiums that are not
Oh my God.
capable of handling top level soccer. Like, I don't know if people are aware of this, probably not because we're still 2 years away. But when the World Cup is here in America in 2026, all of the NFL stadiums that will have matches have to find a way to fit a 75-yard pitch width-wise into the stadium. And many of the stadiums that they're using for Copa America right now are only 70 yards width. So like last night in Arrowhead, where are you finding an extra 5 yards of width in that stadium to place a soccer field? They're going to have to
Taking seats out.
reconstruct the seating bowl.
Taking seats out.
Same with MetLife. I was watching the MetLife game, Argentina, a couple nights ago. That stadium, they have to find a way to plot a 75-yard width pitch in that NFL stadium. So, like, it's a major issue when you play in these smaller spots, and then you can add in the cameras aren't exact and all that stuff.
I'm assuming they're not playing in the soccer stadiums because they're just not big enough.
No,
Yeah,
they're not
correct,
big enough.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and also
Correct.
like the issue with the grass, because now there's the final is July 14th. The final's in Miami. Miami put in new grass. They
bad.
then removed it.
It's bad.
Because there's a concert coming up
And then they're going to lay
weekend.
down new
And then
turf.
they're going to put it down again for the final that's supposed to be 5 days later.
I mean, Carm, the answer to all of your questions about all of this is that we as Americans suck at all of this stuff.
Yeah, we're not good at the soccer.
We're not good at any of
We're
it.
just
The
not
team,
good at the soccer.
We're not good at the
Planning for
team.
it.
We're not good with the stadium construction. We're not good with the pitch itself. We just suck at all of this stuff.
It's weird because, again, like soccer is so much more popular here than it's ever been, but we are really, as a country, no closer to competing with the world's best soccer playing nations. We're no better now than we were in the late 70s or early 80s, and everybody sort of projected. And I've always said it's still because our best athletes just don't play it. Our best athletes play football, they play basketball, they play baseball, they play hockey. They don't play soccer. It's just a fact. If John Morant and Mike Trout and Tyreek Hill and
played soccer,
we'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If they started dribbling soccer balls when they were 3, we'd be awesome. We'd be, but they don't, and I don't think they ever will. The opportunities for young kids here, whether you come whichever socioeconomic class you fall into, and especially for those that are more unfortunate in the bottom, the opportunity to go play something and then make money is in those other sports. It is not in soccer. And I don't think it ever will be.
Sounds like you're making excuses.
Well, but is it, though, or is that just a reality, Eric? I mean,
Did you see last night they flashed the graphic? Uruguay has 34 million people in it. And the American United States has 340 million people.
Croatia's got 3 million.
Yeah.
4 million.
Yeah.
4 million. They run circles around us in soccer.
Well, our infrastructure sucks. We're just bad at all of it. But I think Carmen's on something. You need to hire someone from overseas to run your soccer infrastructure, the federation. That's who it has to be.
Problem is they make too much money. U.S. soccer, blank, blank, blank. They make too much money, and they're not going to give it up.
What Jurko just said, there's not enough money here in it, right? That's kind of my point. And I love that it's more popular than ever, and young people like it.
There's too much money in the youth systems. Like U.S. soccer, the governing body that looks at it. Yeah, well, there's a lot of participation.
Right. There's a lot of participation. Correct.
So there's not a lot of development. It's let's get the leagues going. Let's do this. It's like travel baseball.
Yes.
You know, not enough practice, too many games.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, not probably.
Yeah.
It's 100% correct. That's the way it is. And the focus, same thing with AAU basketball. The focus is in Europe, they play one basketball game and they practice 5 days. Here you play 5 games, you're lucky to get a practice. So that's the difference.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like the overall philosophy. I don't know.
That's the dilemma.
Runs deep, but that's a disappointing result, right? We could all admit that.
Yeah.
They were expected to get out of that, one of the teams out of that group here on American soil, and it didn't happen. The Panama game was a stinker. Maybe they got jobbed a little bit yesterday, but we're still no better off. That's just what's the frustrating part of all this. And 2 years, North America, I know it's not just in the States. Great, well, Canada, Mexico, U.S., right? In 2 summers?
Right. All 3 of them have automatically made it.
And they've all made it because of the hosts.
They've expanded the field also from whatever the field once was. They've expanded the field.
Isn't it like 40-something teams now or something?
It's beyond the point of being
right? It's a lot of teams. So if you've got a thought on it from last night or just the overall state of soccer, if there's anything they can do, if you know Jurgen Klopp like these guys, they said it months ago. They're like, that's the guy U.S. should go hire, Jurgen Klopp. Maybe you wouldn't take it, but you should pursue him. It's like when we talk about, what's a good analogy, Eric? Like, the Bulls should go get Sam Presti. It's like, yeah, in theory that's good, but they never really would have the cojones to go after Sam Presti.
Klopp or Pep Guardiola. Pep's already said that this could be his last year at Manchester City.
That's another name I heard last night on the post game, and they were disgusted. And this might be the end of the line for Berhalter. We've got Cubs calls and some soccer calls, so we'll start taking your calls coming up next here. 312-332-3776. People want to react to the U.S. loss and what the Cubs should do at the deadline. We got to get more into that. We are officially a month away.
48 teams.
That's what I thought.
Usually it's 32, I think.
I think historically, for a long time,
it's been 32. Now it's going to be 48 from 6 confederations.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting.
312-332-3776. It's Carmen and Jurko.